They are LED.
Yeah, they're all. People, I'll stand if you
No, I don't have
there's new ones.
No, only if you had one, just for the lads.
Yeah,
mate.
Got the old scripty script.
Yep.
You haven't seen more, Sam, have you?
Some of the guys, them ones.
Right.
Which are, yeah, for them. So they
Anyway, just those.
Yeah,
Records off the shelf.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
They last for about a day.
Yeah, we saw decent distance away from that glass, didn't we? As we went through that glass.
That's right, yeah.
So I went through that glass.
Thanks, Mum.
Through the glass, against the glass.
We were up against the glass to see how far we could see these.
Was it to see how easily you can see them through the water?
The thing is, what the cameras do is they throw out LED red light.
Yep.
So LED red light goes out into the water.
Gets
we've got
absorbed.
it gets absorbed, and then we've got these retro reflective markers on. So it says it.
Okay.
So it says it as a like
Did
a,
you try one the width of the pool just to see if the
we
red?
won't use those. You'd have to use active LEDs.
Yeah.
So we take the strobe off
Yeah.
the camera, so there's no red light goes into the pool at all. And then we pick up these LED red lights. So
Yeah.
they start
Because they
self-illuminating.
can be blue as well.
That's in theory.
They can be blue.
Because we have
green, any
blue. I mean,
colour.
normally we put them out
Yeah.
for all the blue screen and all the stuff that I've done.
Yeah. And in terms of the way that this works,
Yeah.
I think it has to be red.
Yeah.
Because
Is
of
that
the
better
filters
for
which
you?
comes through on the
I
cameras.
got red as well.
Yeah. we've got
Is that
a little bit.
infrared as per se, or
Yeah, it's
actually?
near infrared. Well,
near.
it's NIR, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
and it depends on, because we were talking about lighting conditions last time, weren't we, for the water and stuff like that.
Was it dark?
Huh?
Was it dark?
Oh, no, I don't think it was dark.
So we want to get these on
I can't remember
to
whether you
suit
listed with
them,
the
right?
light ring.
No, there's no lights in it at all.
Yeah.
It was just the LED in there.
The LEDs
Velcro
themselves.
should work
But you know
as
what
well
red is
as
like
anything,
through
shouldn't
water.
Yeah.
After about 10
Yeah,
foot,
same thing.
Exactly.
it just gets
It starts
absorbed.
dying off. But then I was reading up this morning, there's a different type of strobe that you can get rather than NIR
Yeah.
or a red light. It may have been blue, which they were talking about putting on here,
Yeah.
which is the extra, give you the extra push
It just
through the water.
the extra punch because I mean, red just literally. I mean, all the lighting I do,
Yeah.
I might be underwater bullshit. POP. Sorry, did I've got my I've had my honesty pills. Sorry about that. And it's the old story. It's just like the red in skin. If you have an artist underwater and you've lit them and the camera's here, everything looks great. But just pull camera back,
Yeah,
or
exactly,
pull the
yeah.
light away,
Yeah.
and it'll go pale and washed out.
No, yeah,
And if we can, we usually use blue because obviously it'll coat and last a lot
Scribble
longer.
note page.
But if your system is based on having to
Scribble note
use the red, then
Yeah, I'm fairly sure it's based on
but you'd find out very quickly
Else for you to
just by-
scribble on.
by looking through the window and putting one on the far wall.
Yeah. I mean, the way that the...
Steve's not here yet, yeah?
No, he's actually
the way
just
the camera
texted in
system
saying
works
it's stuck
is
on the
based
highway, so we
chronometry.
should proceed and
So
he'll come
it's
in.
triangulation
somewhat
by
aware.
markers. So we have
What's he
a
done
number of
before?
cameras which go around the
He
outside.
did
I
St.
remember
George's
somewhere
Day,
in Pinewood going to a meeting
which
once
was
with a
the
company.
Frank Harper
I'm sure it was at yours with it,
British
like a
gangster
big stage.
flick,
with
and now
cameras
he's
all the way
doing
round.
Enemy of
Yeah,
Man
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
with
So, yeah,
Charles
it'll be
B.
exactly- it's
that
Sean
motion
Bean,
capture?
Rupert Grint,
Yep, so
the
motion
Macbeth,
capture cameras.
with Vincent Reagan
And
directing.
then we calibrate them
So
as
they're
well.
on that right
So
now.
we calibrate the 3D space.
I understand.
So being able to see a marker.
We've shot the
is one
teaser
thing.
already,
Right.
We
got
need to be able to calibrate
the
the space.
pre-commitment
so that
cells
wherever one of these markers is
from
seen in that
Kaleidoscope.
3D space,
Yes.
Trying to put
that
the
we
study.
can get that
We'll
information.
talk
Got
about
you.
that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's underway
Okay.
to shoot, probably starting
Well, that's-
January now.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. It's fantastic.
But
Really
I've got some
interesting.
other very interesting updates regarding
Yeah.
new producers and the likes.
So the
Some
difference
concepts.
between this and the other cameras are that we only have one cable coming into this,
Lovely, please.
Oh, that's good.
whereas the other one was two cables coming in.
Yeah.
They go well. we found originally that the older cameras were better because the newer cameras were a bit sensitive, should we say, to what water is and things like that. But then saying that, the newer cameras are really geared for using for outdoor lighting as well, so they're much better for light.
Okay.
So there's
like daylight.
Yeah, it's like a bit of a trade-off. So going to shoot outside in sunlight, which we never would have been able to think
normally
about doing
no.
before. No.
Well, these can now.
The newer ones, yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So do you design these?
No, a company in Oxford just down the road from us, so they're not too far away.
So what does your company do?
We are Audio Motion. We do motion capture. We're a motion capture service company.
Do you have your own studio with
Yep.
all the?
Yeah, in Weekly, yeah. Yeah, we just moved to Weekly, so.
Wow. You look like you're going to ask a question.
I'm just thinking how to make that half decent.
What, as a case to?
Yeah, just thinking.
How many would you?
So this we would be talking floating reference.
It depends how
That would act as a floating
how
reference
big
camera
a space we're
underwater
trying to cover
itself.
there.
No, that
No.
would be.
What's your
nice.
minimum? Do you think?
Potential. Remember the last time
Yep.
we were looking at big tanks.
I mean,
How big is the tank?
rigging them in there.
Stage,
I didn't realise these two boys had had
20 metres
this
by 10.
conversation in previous life.
So we most
But
want to
exactly
look at
the same
60
subject.
cameras, but
And they've got us 4-inch building.
60.
Amazing.
But you wouldn't necessarily need the whole space.
But
No,
Because
it's
it
not
may be
This is
that
great because I was
you
thinking
come in a
also
little
Exactly.
bit, which obviously reduces
you do
the
want a bit of this.
giving a fit. I don't know why I went
And
there.
that'll be it.
Any correction.
But that
Yeah.
just like reduces the numbers, doesn't it?
Yeah,
but it's
reduces-
still going to be
it's still going to be 20
Gotcha.
plus.
appreciable.
Yeah, which need to go into the water. But then it's also whether or not, because 9 times out of 10 we'd have cameras above
Yes,
as well, so we'd have them from the side and above.
right.
But it's
What about up, looking at the underside of the water? Do you reckon that'll fuck you up?
Shouldn't do.
Looking straight up,
No, it shouldn't. As long as there's no light,
as on,
lights
Yeah.
above on, or if we have.
or we can pull a black in.
Just throw a black over.
I would put a black. I'll tell you why. Every time we've looked up with the smallest amount of light in the water, it lights up that ceiling,
No,
and
yeah.
you get Pinewood.
I'm just
and
wondering
all
if it's going to bounce off over the surface
Yeah.
agitation.
Black would be ideal for you because then whatever light is under the water, it's not going to.
Yeah. I mean, the only other unknown then is the bubbles.
Yeah,
Then
yeah.
we
Well,
do that.
until we try one, we
Yeah,
won't know.
exactly.
Yeah, you'd have to see.
Well, hopefully they don't register or you get anything back. No, we hope.
Yeah. I mean, it's not quite as sensitive as they were in terms of bubbles. If there's stuff there, if a number of cameras don't see it, then it won't
It just come up
as a
like
marker.
noise.
It could just appear as noise. Like
And
if
you're
there's-
able to take that out.
Well, you sort of keep it in there, but then you go back through and reprocess. It's a bit different to Vicon. It's a bit different to the other system, where you capture everything and see everything as a 3D reference, but it's only captured as 2D data. So then you go back and reprocess it through afterwards to build that 3D data up. Whereas the other system is captured in 3D. It has 2D reference, and if the 3D is bad, you then reconstruct it again. So it's like an extra part you have to do. Whereas with this side of things, you don't. It's what you're seeing is what you're getting, but you know that the reconstruction side of things from 2D to 3D is going to be a lot better.
Wow.
Christian, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, introductions are done. Steve Harvey, co-producer on the film and Stuck in Traffic, he said to go ahead because he's already familiar with the
Okay,
project in
fair
essence. And it was a handshake for you to meet him kind of a deal anyway.
But he'll still make it?
Yep.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so we've done that, and then kind of the quick roundup is that the original meeting was Dave, Nick, and myself. We'd talked about and this is a very, very crude little deal that we did on a whiteboard, basically. We'd gone and looked at the pool, we talked about the rigging of cameras, and what we'd come up with was 2 angles of 2 submerged kind of 45-degree fish tanks. One at
Just for a test.
this end.
For a test,
Yeah. So using half-tank configuration for shooting was kind of the concept.
Right.
Because this is a test, and we weren't going to throw like 4 actors in there.
No, no.
That we'd work with 1 actor. We'd put through some motions. So that was kind of where we'd ended up. 2 fish tanks. Nick and I went and looked with Dave
Yeah.
at a couple of fish tanks. One of them.
Is the two
had,
to give you the 2 different angles?
Yeah.
Because you know there's another,
Yeah.
just from a budget point of view,
Yeah.
the other trick is do everything one way, then turn the person.
Wouldn't work.
No,
Wouldn't work
no,
for
we've
us.
got to capture at least 180 degrees
Oh, right.
of
We
action
do 360.
to represent the three-dimensional move.
This is for
Yeah.
the 360.
Yeah, for
No,
the-
this
no,
is for
no,
the
this is-
underwater motion capture itself.
It's just,
So you've actually got to
just
have a
print out the
series,
stage.
an
Oh, yeah,
array
that's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
of cameras.
I mean, it's yes.
And we decided, I think it was 9 we were talking about, or 10, 6 and 4. We'll
In the
settle
boxes,
onto that.
as it were.
Yeah, in the
And then
boxes.
the light, from the lighting point of view,
Yeah.
you're going to come to that.
We are. So that was kind of it, and we hadn't settled on lighting directly, but what we had spoken about was having a general wash of light, and we'll get to Mike and Mick as to whether that is helpful or
Or
detracts from where
For
we're going,
forging
because
the-
now I hear we're out of reflectors into active LEDs, so we'll kind of get that. So that was kind of as far as we got.
Okay.
We'd looked at the fish tanks, we talked about the rigging, we kind of understood the scale of the cameras,
Right.
and we kind of settled on a half tank. So that's that piece done. So now we move into what is it that I think within the teaser that I'm going to shoot. And as part of the teaser, we'll try to take this test and use it in the teaser. And it'll also be some live action, which we will get to after the fact. That I have put together my little wish list, which would kind of give us an example of kind of like the most complicated thing we'd actually run into while we were trying to do it. So the first one is scene 4. If we do it in scene numbers, which is the International Space Station right at the beginning of the movie. There's some action, and they've got to get astronaut Lee out of the
Out of the,
cargo, out of the
hold, or what, no, the hold,
the operations deck into the airlock.
yeah.
So that's scene 4, even though that's not the order on your little list here. The order on your list is scene 64, scene J. Verne, and then scene 4 is astronaut Dave. So one of the things that we're going to want to try and accomplish is a push and pull. So we've got to try and represent this motion. Yes?
Right.
So one of the so that's kind of the idea is that you've got a guy within the it's a larger space shuttle. So we don't have to worry about scale now. But we talked about putting in an operations table on the one side of the pool, kind of the main rig where you would enter and have stuff and happening. And I'm thinking that what we might want to do then is just have a couple of obscure pipes within the shooting range that the actor can actually generate some motion off of. Okay, so I'd like to try and capture astronaut Dave pushing him away from one thing and pulling himself to another, so that we would get those two kind of general motions and feelings of that.
Yeah.
Within that, there's a tie-in with the next piece, which is an object test. And there's this cylinder gravnet gun that
Yes.
they're going to use in space.
Yeah.
So
Which
what we
he
like-
just misses, doesn't he? Or just
Well, he gets the gravnet gun off,
Yeah.
but it fails.
It fails,
and
yeah.
then he launches himself towards the satellite
and just misses
just by millimeters.
Yeah.
So the concept is that we could tie those two bits together. We could do an initial shot of astronaut Dave pushing and pulling, and then we get an object and float it to him at this
And that's
point.
all for the motion capture.
Yeah, this is all the motion. Generally, the film, what we're trying to achieve here is all the gravity-free sequences would be shot as underwater motion capture. And what we would build is a library of actions.
Yeah.
So when I've written the film, I've been thinking of this. So what I feel is, and we've kind of talked about it, is we could build a loose library of activities that are taking place. They can then be rolled over. And in the wonderful world of motion capture duplication, so there's a scene later on where you've got several astronauts outside.
Different places.
So we could take, library 1 for that guy, library 2 for that guy, library 3 for that guy. Understanding that we are not trying to make a £50 million movie.
What? I'm in the wrong
Unfortunately.
meeting.
However,
There's more than that down the back of the
well,
couch.
there's some shaky news towards all that later. But definitely with this upgraded draft, which we'll come to again in a minute here, I guess, on a production report. But so those are kind of the two shots, I think. Understanding that it's going to take us time to set up and get in and do everything, that if we can do two shots or variables of those two shots in one day, then that would be a realistic, achievable kind of thing for us to shoot for.
Okay.
And then I can use them. I'm going to show you a little previs today of some space stuff.
Right.
And I may take, we'll talk further on animations and mapping over what it is, but we'll then take them and we will not do a full level composite layover of the animation.
Just sort of like,
So we'll do more of what we call a 2D flop
yeah.
of it,
Yeah.
but it will be enough for us to understand, there's an environment, here's the action, yes, it has a realistic case.
And then from just a very quick technical question, which I'm probably jumping out of order, the resolution of your system, what sort of res does it work at?
Well, we've got anything from 1 megapixel, 4 megapixel, 12 megapixel cameras. So
Okay.
depending on what we need to see and how far we need to see.
All right. So from a resolution point of view, it shouldn't be a problem for you guys once you...
No.
I wasn't being rude.
No.
I just
that's okay.
wanted to ask, because I don't know what that res is. Oh, that should be great. Okay.
Yeah, because at the end of it, we're capturing these dots.
Yeah.
Yes.
what
So
we
it
do-
has to be good enough to see those at
Yeah,
distance.
from a certain distance, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, if we need to go to bigger markers, we can, but obviously we're going for active LEDs because
Sure.
the tape will just come off these.
No, yeah. But it does come off in time with the music,
Yes, exactly.
which looks really nice.
We do enjoy that, don't we?
Last time, didn't we try putting cling film or something over the markers as well?
What about spray? You can't spray them with,
No.
with a laminate.
No,
like a-
So the tape, so you can still see the tape,
Oh, to try and...
but you can't.
Yeah.
The tape doesn't come off.
Right.
Just
There
to
is
try-
other tape as well you can get, which is much better now.
No. The tape is all it is a crushed glass tape. So it's
A
like
3M,
high
3M,
vis
yeah.
jackets,
3M
that type of
reflective.
thing.
I like
That's
that
what
sort
it
of
is.
thing, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
What about a spray?
Tried to spray before, I think.
All
Yeah.
right.
Doesn't show much.
So...
Well, trying to get reflective.
We've shot. No. I'm just thinking about a
Okay.
clear lacquer of that.
Okay, just
Allow,
let
will that reduce the amount of light you get?
Sorry,
All
Chris,
through that.
sorry.
No,
Yeah,
that's
sorry.
okay.
Off on a
This
tangent
is
again.
there was a bit of fluidity
It's
here
the light
because we're
back
cracking
coming
on.
back from
Yeah,
the
sorry.
and
No,
if we're
no,
not-
that's
yeah,
okay.
If we're not throwing
Technical.
light in,
Yeah.
Yeah,
then we
that's-
need light back.
that's stopping Mike when he's on a roll.
Let's
eh?
try and-
Well done, guys. So 12
Okay.
megabytes.
Right. Yeah. Well, I would imagine it will probably go for the high-end cameras anyway because of the water conditions. Even though it'll be clear water, we'll move from there. Okay. So now one of the key things here now we'll move into the all thing, even though it's been an all thing, which is all good. Is it going to be a MOCAP actor, or is it going to be an underwater actor assigned to a MOCAP deal? And I think, would it make sense at this point to have an underwater actor?
It's going to have
with
to
some-
be somebody who's
Perfect.
comfortable with the gear.
Okay.
And this person's
Weird.
in their spacesuit?
No. This is the idea. Is that it's motion capture, and what these guys end up with is actually a stick man
Yeah.
of dots,
So
and
absolutely.
the animation comes over
So-
it. But there is a big question as to
Couldn't it just be one of our lads?
Yeah, we use one of yours. But here's the question, or what I foresee as the issue, is when you get underwater, it's not like in space. And when a guy's in space in a spacesuit, which I've actually worn one, and I've been in the free tank in Florida a long time ago, I mean, you don't have a lot of movement. Now, you don't have a lot of movement,
No.
and you don't have the speed or the reaction at all, as if you're in a scuba gear and you're moving.
Have you seen any
So-
of the clips from Gravity?
Yeah.
Because that
Yeah.
is not necessarily where we're going to arrive, but it's
Right.
a signpost to the
Yeah.
destination.
Well, what I'm thinking is a series of bungee restrictors just taped on. So what we do is we put a connection on the diver with Velcro wraps with bungees, and what this does is it stops this from happening, because even in a gravity, and I've also been in a free fall situation, when you're in that moment, you really don't have this weird control. And on Earth, again, it is different from the reports of the astronauts. Once you actually get into space, there is nothing like that actual effect, and your sense of equilibrium and the way that your body naturally reacts to try to stabilize you and become aware of the emotion. So I think that I'd like to try to come up with two sets of wraparounds, legs and arms, so that it represents the suit, because you can't actually straighten your arm completely in a spacesuit. Yeah, it goes to about
no,
like
you're
that.
restricted, aren't you?
Yeah, you can only get about this much out of it. So if we do that to the underwater actor, that mixed with that should then come much closer, hopefully. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'll make a note on that, and I'll have to have a
Okay.
side
And then-
wardrobe.